So, how do we know the zero-sum world? Do you know what a zero-sum world is? It's the idea that there's only so much wealth, and now it's just think of a pie. People like to use the pie. There's a pie out there, and it's a constant pie, and now it's a question of who gets what piece, right? So if we have this massive pie, and we're sitting here, how are we going to divide the pie? And some of us get a big piece, and some of us get a little piece. We go, wait a minute, why did those guys get a big piece? What did they do? Right? But it's not one pie. Right? What's the problem with the pie analogy?
Yeah, it's a fixed size.
It's a fixed size. The pie is constantly growing. And the way it grows is by entrepreneurs going out there, creating and building new wealth that grows the pie. So it's not a zero-sum world in a sense of a fixed pie. It's a growing pie. But it's actually worse than that. There is no pie. The pie is an abstraction. There is no such thing as societal wealth. There is no such thing as the pie of society. You have a pie, and you have a pie, and you have a pie, and you have a pie. And who makes that pie?
Yourself.
You do. So we all have our own pies. And then what these people want is to aggregate all these pies and then we divide them up. And I go, why? I created my pie. Keep your hands off of my pie. I get to eat my pie. You don't get to take my pie. And I get to keep my hands off of your pie. So there is no one pie that we get to divide up. Each one of us has our own pie. And this is the second myth. The myth that wealth is social. There is no such thing as social wealth. There is no such thing as the wealth in Romania, or Romanian wealth, or American wealth. There is your wealth and your wealth and your wealth. And yes, as economists, we can aggregate all that up and come up with a number that represents how wealthy Romania is. But it's an abstraction. It's not a property right. There is no ownership over that wealth that's collective. Each one of us owns what we create. And if we create different amounts, then we have different amounts. Then we deserve different amounts. If some of us are lazy, and we don't build and we don't create much, then we have a little, and that's what we deserve. Some of us are hardworking, and we build and create a lot, and we get more, then we deserve a bigger pie. Why is it right for us each to have the same pie, an equal pie, when we're all fundamentally different? When we're all making different pies. We're all baking different pies, right? In Romania you have a lot of pies, right? I mean, people like pies.
Yeah.
It's a national food, right? Well, some people make really good pies and some people make not so good pies. Some people make big pies, some people make little pies. But that's an analogy to wealth. You don't have a right to somebody else's pie. So the whole issue of inequality is distorted and perverted by these ideas of zero sum and the idea of social wealth, social pies. Wealth is individual, and it's not zero sum, it's created and additive.